Joining me now from Nashville, Tennessee, economic analyst, hedge fund manager, and contributor to Forbes and other major publications, Thomas Landstreet. Tom, right now there is word that the Trump administration is floating the idea of trying to limit U.S. investments in China. I don't think this is the kind of thing that's probably going to happen. I think it's a trial balloon that's being floated out there. But it's certainly got the Chinese scrambling right now and wondering if.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't happen. I don't think it's a good idea, honestly. And we've talked about the question of whether Donald Trump is a pure genius when it comes to negotiations. But this really does cut an artery. Sanctions haven't worked very well over time. Look at Cuba. I mean, did they reform? No. So I think it's better as a threat, perhaps. It would be devastating. The cross-border traffic between the investments going both ways is in the hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. Right. And I think it would be tremendously damaging, not only to the capital markets, but really to them. I think liberalizing their markets is important to liberalizing their culture. I may be wrong, but this really scares me, Graham.
What's scaring me domestically right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you're on the same page with me, because you certainly know more about this than I do, but I call it monetary madness that's happening right now. And this is the Federal Reserve infusing money in what they call the repo market. And this effectively, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is money that banks lend each other. This is short-term lending. But right now, the interest rates on short-term money is rather high, so the liquidity is not there. When the liquidity is not there, the Federal Reserve steps in. But now they've stepped in, what, 8, 9, 10 days straight?
Yeah, so, the repo market is what they call a wholesale funding market. You may remember back in '08 when the money market system froze up and you had a money market company go out of business. This is a wholesale funding market for corporations, for hedge funds, for other lenders and companies. You post securities, you get a loan, it's overnight, you can roll it over, ad infinitum. In fact, today, I think the Federal Reserve spent $64 billion in that market again, which is one of the highest levels since this started. And the fact that it's 10 or 11 days in suggests that it's not just a little technical glitch, like they said, related to tax receipts. It's something much bigger. And I'll repeat, and I've mentioned this to you before, the amount of Treasury bond issuance that is necessary to fund the government operations before Christmas, Graham, I think it's like $400 billion. It's overwhelming the appetite for these treasuries. It's crowding out other investments. It's drying up liquidity. And I believe this is just a sign of that stress. And it's fairly significant. I'm surprised the market's up so nicely today amidst all this. It's pretty impressive, honestly.
Could see more quantitative easing, which, again, is a questionable move by the Fed. I mean, it obviously boosted the economy, did well, but in the end, these markets need to function on their own without the tinkering from Jerome Powell. Thomas, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.